Hello, this video is going to focus on payroll skills for the Accounting Technicians Ireland work-based learning log. In particular, it will focus on the use of a payroll system effectively within the working environment, accurately calculating pay, producing payroll reports, and we'll touch on the awareness of employer duties within the working environment with relation to payroll. So prior to this video, I have already set up an employee. I am currently using Xero, which is a cloud-based accounting software system. I'm using the demo company provided by Xero in order just to protect client data. And so I'm going to start my walkthrough now. I'm going to Payroll module, going down to Employees. So you see below here we have Michael Malone. I'm going to click into Michael's record and just walk you through the steps that I've taken to produce a new employee record. So I have entered Michael's basic information here, his date of birth, his contact information, emergency contact, and because Michael is a manager in this case, he will have permission to approve time off for himself and other employees. Going across then to the employment module, I have entered then employment details pertaining to the pay run, the pay run that I will be producing. So I have given Michael an employee number. I've given him a fictitious national insurance number, and I have given him the category, the national insurance category A, on which he will pay Class 1 NICs, which are currently set at 12% for the employee and 13.8% for the employer. Michael's start date is the 1st of March, and I'm going to produce a pay run then to the 31st of March later on. Again, Michael is in the monthly payroll calendar, and those are just ad hoc details here. So Michael is a full-time employee who works 40 hours per week, and I've set his salary to be £25,000 per year, effective from his start date. Moving on then to taxes. So for the purposes of this demonstration, I have already said that Michael does not have a P45, so he needed to fill in a P46, in which he has ticked statement B, that this is currently his only job from the start of the tax year. Because of this, Michael has been assigned an emergency tax code then of 1100L, and that is on a non-cumulative basis. By this we mean that Michael will have each pay period treated as if it were the first month of the new tax year. He might not fully, if he were earning this, he may not be fully able to utilise his personal allowance. However, this would then make an adjustment then at the tax year end if he has overpaid any taxes. Following that then, the HMRC will then issue a coding notice for Michael, and we would expect then that his new tax code would be 1150L, and it will actually be then on a cumulative basis. So for the purposes of this demo, I'm going to change it as this and save. Okay, so moving on now to a pay run. So as said earlier, I have prepped a draft monthly pay run. I'm going to go into this draft and do a walkthrough then of Michael's pay run for this period. So Michael Malone. Okay, so here we see then that the Xero system has actually calculated Michael's pay then. They have worked out then the £25,000 over 12 months, and then based this on his working hours then within the month, and given him then his rate. We did take in that Michael did have student loans to pay, and then this is obviously then made its own calculation and deduction. Student loans were paid then prior to PAYE being deducted. And then we'll move on down then to employee taxes. So as discussed earlier, Michael will be paying Class 1 national insurance contributions, and these are based at 12.8%. The tax he will pay then will be based on the deduction then of his apportioned personal allowance, the deduction of the loan, and then his tax will then be based at 20% on the remainder. We must note here that Michael is a basic rate taxpayer and not a higher rate taxpayer. Scrolling on down then, Michael doesn't have any earnings orders. We would maybe see here particularly anything that might pertain to time maintenance. However, this isn't applicable, and neither are any reimbursements. So we'll see here then the net pay, which is $1,624.87. On down then we see the employer taxes, again, which are based at 13%. And then the total cost then to the employer. So that will be basically the net wages plus the employer contribution for national insurance as well. So we'll just hit save. Scroll back up. And we'll then come out then to the draft run. I have set my payment date here as the 31st of March. I'm going over then to post the pay run. I'm going to confirm the pay run. And an RTI then will be submitted to HMRC. So as part of our employer obligations, I will go across into options. I will then look to download Michael's payslips. And as we discussed earlier during the walkthrough, this is Michael's payslip based on what we have entered. So on a personal level, I would do this mainly on a weekly basis within my work. I can produce other reports, so if I go across here just to payroll reports, and then go down to all reports, and I have the option down here then just to produce any payroll reports as necessary. So we are coming close to the payroll year end, being the 5th of April 2017. We are then obliged to go and submit a final payment summary to HMRC for each company. When that has been completed, the employer then is obligated to pay any outstanding PAYE to HMRC by the 19th of April. This is the deadline for this year. Other employer obligations are then to produce P60s for each employee. The issue of the P60s, deadline of these is the 31st of May 2017. And these P60s enable employees to produce proof of income for anything like bank loans or dealing maybe with tax credits. So I will be completing my first ever end of year payroll in the next coming weeks. So at the moment, I'm just going to bring you back to employees, and I'm just going to demonstrate how to end an employee's contract by issuing a P45. So if I go back into Michael Malone, I go to employment, and I come down here just to this end employment. I can choose then when I want to end Michael's employment. So because I will be post-dating this to the 31st of March, I'll just see what happens. End employment. Okay, so this is set to end then on the 31st of March. So here I can download their P45. I'm just going to do this now and open it. And you'll see then this is the P45 they will need then for the new employer. This will give them the opening balances, which will then be recorded by the new employer. It also shows them the tax code at the leaving date, and we currently then see this as 1100L on a week 1 month 1 basis. So I'm going to leave this video as it is. I hope I've demonstrated my ability with payroll skills, and thank you for listening.